Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm making a delicious chocolate zucchini cake and I've made it before on my channel. I have a video of it already, but today I'm doing something different and making it an eggless chocolate zucchini cake. This cake is so moist and delicious and my family just loves it, and your family will too. But if you have some picky eaters, you may just want to not mention that it's made with zucchini. So first of all, I am grating 2 small to medium zucchinis. I need 2 cups of grated zucchini. I started with the largest size on the grater, but then I went down to one of the smallest sizes, and that worked out best. 1 medium zucchini yields a little over 1 cup of grated zucchini. You can see there was a little bit that I haven't grated yet, and I've already gotten 1 cup. So once I have the zucchini grated, I'm just going to let that sit for a few minutes. I need a ½ cup of sour milk, so I have measured out a ½ cup of milk, and I'm adding about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to that. And that needs to sit for a few minutes as well. I forgot to get butter out of the freezer, and so it's very hard. I am putting a ½ stick or a ¼ cup into the bowl, and I am going to soften that in the microwave. And just trying to smush it and cream it so that it will mix up well for the cake. You'll do better than me, and remember to take it out of the refrigerator or the freezer to soften. Next, I'm adding a ½ cup of vegetable oil. One and 3/4 cup of white sugar. Now, I didn't cream this mixture together like I should have, so you'll want to do that really well before you add the eggs. And you'll add 2 eggs and mix really well. We have egg allergies in our home, and so instead of adding eggs, I am adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder as part of the egg substitute, and also a ½ teaspoon of baking powder for the original recipe. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and 4 tablespoons of water as part of the egg substitute. So if you're using fresh eggs, real eggs, you won't need to do the 1 teaspoon of baking powder, the 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and the 4 tablespoons of water. I'll have the recipe written in the description box, and hopefully that will make it more clear. I added 1 teaspoon of vanilla and then added the sour milk into the mixture. And now I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And I need to open a new package of cocoa powder. A ½ teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. 2½ cups of flour. And then I'm just going to stir this together until it's well combined. And I need to really stir it well because I didn't cream that butter very well in with the sugar and the oil. And so I have some lumps, but I think I get most of them out. This was the first time that I made this cake using the egg substitute, and I was pleasantly surprised at how well it turned out. It didn't sink down in the middle at all, and it was very light and fluffy. It had a good texture to it, and I would make it again this way. And I would have no problems taking this to a dinner or a party or a potluck because my family loved it and they couldn't tell that there weren't eggs in it. And you can't see the zucchini at all, hardly. So it's just a win-win all the way around. Still mixing, and I think I have all of the lumps out, or we're pretty close to having them all out. Next, I'm going to squeeze the moisture out of the zucchini and then add that to our chocolate cake mixture. And I just squeeze it out with my hands. It takes hardly any time at all. And it's really easy to do. And you can see how much water came out of that zucchini. And so I was happy that I got rid of it. So just stirring in the zucchini to my cake batter now, and I'll mix that really well. And then I'm spraying a 9 by 11 inch pan with some nonstick cooking spray, and then I will pour the cake batter into the pan. The recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips to be sprinkled over the top. I don't measure, so I don't know how close I got to 3/4 of a cup. And I used a mixture of milk chocolate chips that I had. I had a partial bag of, so I used some of those. And then earlier that day, I was at the grocery store and I picked up some dark or semi-sweet chocolate chips to use as well. And here you can see I'm in the baking aisle, and I was amazed to see how empty the shelves were of chocolate chips. The only semi-sweet chips that they had was this Ghirardelli brand. So I'm just sprinkling those over the top here. And I'll get this into a 325 degree Fahrenheit oven and bake it for 40 to 50 minutes. And I think that it went closer to 50 minutes. But when it came out, I took a toothpick and put it in the center to see if it came out clean, and it did. Be careful not to put it through a chocolate chip or you won't be able to tell. But it came out with no cake on the sides of the toothpick at all. So I'm just going to let it cool now. This would be fine as it is as a snack cake. If you wanted to sprinkle a little bit of granulated sugar or crystallized sugar on top before you baked it, it would be great just on its own like that. But I'm going to make a glaze to drizzle over the top of it. You could add chopped nuts to the top of this if you'd like. But I'm just making a powdered sugar, vanilla, and water glaze. And then I just drizzle that over the top, and I added a few more chocolate chips to it. If you like nuts, you could put chopped almonds or pecans, walnuts, macadamias on top of this as well. Since I had leftover glaze, once it hardened on the cake, I decided to add some cocoa powder to the leftover glaze to make a drizzle of chocolate icing on top as well. But when I do it again, I'm going to omit this step and just leave the vanilla icing alone. I prefer it that way. So I'm just drizzling that over the top right here, and then that will harden a little bit, and then the cake will be ready to serve. And here's the finished cake. Eggless chocolate zucchini cake. I'm just serving up a piece here so you can see what it looks like. I'm sacrificing to have a piece of it the night before. I'm going to use it for dinner, so I'm sacrificing to taste test this. And it's very good. If you have a garden this summer and you're harvesting zucchini, this is a great way to use your zucchini harvest. I don't have a garden, so I just bought 2 zucchinis at the grocery store to use for this. So here you have a delicious cake with a way to sneak some vegetables into your kids' diets. I want to thank you for watching, and please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Goodbye.